Peace, welcome. This is Essence, and we're going to talk about obsession over another human being. Okay, and what I want you guys to get at the end of this video is to know that it is not really the person that you're obsessing about. It just delusion seems that way. Okay, because we got to be careful how we view our points. Okay, our viewpoints. Okay. So when somebody outside of yourself triggers the best part of you, you will tend to want to appreciate them and thank them for triggering that aspect of yourself you never knew you had. Okay, so we tend to want to fall in love with the truth. Okay, and we want to give credit where it's due. So a lot of us will get attached, which would be codependent on the person that has actually shown you a greater part of yourself, okay, or what you believe, okay, okay, what you believe was the greatest part that they had showed you of yourself, okay. We have to remember life is like a reflection. You are a reflection of your higher self. Okay, so if you manifest it in the form that you are, so do your soul. Your soul looks like the true you. So say if you are somebody, like say in myself, if I've saw my other half of myself, which is my soul aspect, it wouldn't be eating, the foods that it's eating. It wouldn't be, it would be more healthy, more uplifted. It would be the better part of me. Okay, so it would pretty much be the opposite of me in a good way. Okay, so just picture yourself, like say if you're eating toxic foods, your soul don't eat toxic foods. Okay, so it would be the better part of you, so you will reflect it. So you will reflect the toxic part of it. You are the ego base of yourself. You are the physical flesh that's experiencing the reality that it's in. Okay, but you would be the the redheaded stepchild to your true self. Okay, but we must understand obsession, and we must break it down to a true aspect of the meaning of where it's coming from. Okay, so your thoughts, okay, your inner thoughts were triggered by an outsider, but what they did was, it's like they caused you to release energy that you no longer had, okay, by their behaviors. So say if you meet someone and they're toxic, you end up, and you're not strong enough to shield yourself, you would tend to absorb that energy. But if you're somebody of strong mind and strong will and strong power, you will shield yourself and you will block out negative energy. Well, in this case, this person met you on the level, okay, where they triggered the greater part of you, and you guys both opened up to receiving. And I just saw 333, and you were open to receiving the message, okay, because you're not supposed to fall in love with your messenger. Just know that there are beings that you do come to experience the journey with, and there are messengers there are people that come and there are people that go. You don't fall in love with your messenger. Your messenger is like a test. It's a preparation for the actual being, which is the self, to reflect in its other form. Okay, because it has many forms. It's like one soul, two separate vehicles. Okay, it will come in the form that you recognize, which is yourself. So when you look into a regular mirror or at a camera, you see the aspect of you. So you got to learn to love you, smile at you, and be happy with you. And it would appreciate it, because the eyes are the windows to the soul. Okay, so we don't want to give credit to an outsider. All you can really do is appreciate their the level of knowledge, whether they understand it or not. Because most people that you come across don't always have that self validation as they think. The moment that they give you or trigger you to self-love yourself, you give them power they never knew that they had, which doesn't work the other way because they're not accepting as you are. You're not open as you are. Okay, so you don't want to be too much of an open book to someone who's not ready to read it. Okay, but in this case, they triggered you. You're more aware. You're more enlightened. They pretty much gave you your awareness. You got your message. Okay, you got the message that now is the time for you to study this or move forward to your next level of enlightenment. So that's what you do. Okay, you don't sit there. You don't marry them. You don't have a bunch of children with them because they delivered one message to you. Because it's like how they would say people are always nice in the beginning, but then it fades. Okay, because when the reality kick in, they realize that they were just a messenger and not someone permanent. Okay, I just seen 555. So don't fall in love with your messenger. This is where the obsession comes from, of you being able to be triggered, and this person is trying to, like, some people will call it manipulation, but it's only manipulation if you allow it to happen. So don't fall in love with your messenger. Okay, you fell in love with the messenger, you got obsessed over them, now you want them around you 24/7, you want them to trigger you with that energetic message all day long, but it don't always happen that way. They mostly trigger you, they'll trigger you once, and then they go on about their life and trigger other people, and whether they know it or not, consciously or not. But you don't fall in love. You appreciate the message, and you take it and absorb it because it gave you that high power frequency. But when you start to step out of that lane and run into their world, okay, because you're with the obsession is what you do is you forget your way and you run into their way, and then you forget who you are, and now you are them. Okay, you become them, but now you want to be them. Now you're calling them, you're texting them, you're blowing them up all kinds of ways. You're following them, and you're emailing them, and you're Instagramming them, and all these false pages. That's not really you. That's a prime example right there that you should never have to seek like that. Don't seek that validation from outside. It's self-validation. And what they did was trigger you to self-validate yourself. They triggered a part of you that you never knew you had. And you're not supposed to just fall in love with your messenger. You're supposed to get that message and embrace that message and move on. And I don't want to say it's like using them. But when you say human interaction, this is what it is. It's, hey, how you doing? What message do you have for me? You can either resonate with it, where it really touches your soul, and you're like, oh my God, it really shook your whole body. Or you don't message with, you don't, and maybe you were the messenger and you had something to deliver to them and they chose not to listen, but you can't get your message across, so you just keep it pushing. You're not supposed to fall in love with them, have sex with them, and do all this wicked stuff. You were supposed to just get the message and move forward. That way nobody will be blaming, nobody will be obsessed. You fell into an obsessive state of mind when you fell into love with yourself. But you blame that self-love on someone else doing it for you. It was a mirror reflection that had caused you to love you, and you felt that love. And now you're looking for it outside of yourself, which is, now you're trying to say that this person made you something that you are today, which is you who made you something that you were today. It's just the fact that you need that outside validation to give it the thumbs up, to boost that ego. And then what the ego does is get you to be obsessed over this person. And that's not what it's supposed to be. It was supposed to be a trigger, and it triggered you, So especially people being on a twin flame journey, you met your other half, they triggered you. And yes, their soul will tend to be around you because you guys are one soul. But what they did is push a button. They activated a part of your chakra that you didn't have activated. So it's like they were the key, and they unlocked a part of you that needed some work, and you unlocked a part of them, whether they believe it or not, that they're trying to keep the door closed, but you activate a part of them. And it opened, but they shut it. Okay, and they triggered you. You opened it and you kept it open, and you wanna appreciate them for doing that. But you have to remember it was you triggering you. Okay, so appreciate that trigger, whether it's good or bad, and advance yourself from that. Okay, so this is where self-love come in, because you say, okay, thank you for the knowledge. Now I'm gonna go and live it. You know what I mean? Or now I'm gonna go and be it. Thank you very much. That's what, after you say thank you, is where you cut it off. Don't give it the word. Don't worship them as if they are your God. They are a part of the message that's given to you from your Most High. But you are the receiver, and the receiver is more important to absorb it. Don't get obsessed with someone outside of you. Get obsessed with yourself. Love yourself righteously. Not that wicked I love me enough where I'm doing all this wicked stuff and money this and sex that. Love yourself righteously. Okay, reflect that health back to yourself. Reverse that back to yourself and things. And I see 11:11. Peace to the Creator. Peace to the Most High. Sip to that. Love you. Okay. It's just be grateful that there are messengers around here, because not every messenger knows exactly what they're doing. This is exactly what a reflection of the masculine would look like. The masculine or feminine runner will look like, is that they will not understand, they don't understand their worth. And it's not your job as a feminine or masculine who accepts their fate to pull them back on their fate. Deliver your message, keep it moving. Okay, sometimes you don't even have to say nothing. Somebody else would deliver it, and this is where you get karmics from. And what happens is they start to fall in likeness with their messengers, and they get off their path. So you were triggered, you were given the okay, stay on your path, continue to ascend. If they get off their path by any means necessary and entertain themselves by temptation with other things, their soul will eventually align back to itself, and it will trigger them. But you don't want to be caught in the crossfire. You don't want to come into their reality with being obsessed. Learn to obsess over yourself. Cut that illusion off of them being being your most high, being your most everything because they manifested. Bring it back to yourself. Obsess over yourself. Get over the desires and needs and wants of being with this person, because to be honest with you, they can feel this frequency and it will tend to push them away. You feel what I'm saying? Because you're sending out wave signals. When you like obsessively think about somebody like that, you send out the wave. Sometimes you receive back messages from spirit. They're okay, they're fine, or sometimes they will text you out of nowhere and shit like that. When you send these messages out, send it out and make sure it's respectful. But a lot of us get angry because we're obsessed. Well, we believe that they're supposed to be with us right now. And I've been down that road too. And it didn't manifest in a good way. It manifested almost like throwing a boomerang and it's coming back is different. But throwing a string at them, like a cowboy would just wrap a string and just throw it and pull them. This is what you're doing. You're like throwing that string of obsession, and you're like throwing it at them, and it's catching them where they have no will to move and they feel stuck, where you're forcing them to come back. You want to be able to throw it like a boomerang. So when you send your messages out, okay, because obsessive thinking is manifesting, is going to manifest in a way that it's going to come. So if you're manifesting them, obsessively thinking about sex, and they're going to come and manifest in sex. If you're thinking about being with them and loving them, they're going to manifest in the form that they are in at that moment, which could be a toxic person who has their options are still open. But you're going to get what you ask for, and if you don't be patient, it's going to manifest in the form of infidelity. It's going to manifest in the form of a lot of toxic stuff. So be careful how you, because being obsessed is a form of manifesting, okay, wishing, okay. And you want to wish them good health, no matter who they with, where they at, what they're doing. You want to wish them the best, because they still have their own individual vessel to tune up, to tame, because you are not, when you've mastered yourself, you will finally realize that you were never your body. They have to realize they were never their body. Okay, the body, if they're disconnected, most of all, if they're soulless, they don't know what they're really doing. They just believe that what they're doing is okay, but that's not knowledge. That they believe that that's a wish, that, oh, I wish that I had a bunch of money, a bunch of this and a bunch of that type of stuff. That's a wish. That's manifesting. And it will come into what they would call karma. It could come in good karma, it can come in bad, it will come fold. However way it will manifest to them. And some will get blessed, because if they're using it with their intentions to want to be on a better path, then some will be blessed and some will not. Okay? So just be mindful of your obsessive thinking. It is not them. They only triggered you. It is you who needs to love you more. It's you who needs to obsess over you more. Okay? So that's what you will learn. Once you come into that peace of mind, that's what you will end up learning when you get past that obsessive thinking of another person. And you don't have to be a twin flame. You could just be a being having an experience of likeness. Okay, you would tend to be attracted or tempted, because temptation is very powerful. Tempted to want to succeed with your desires towards this person. Your desires would be more in the base chakra, because that's what it is. We vibing towards the frequency of sex. So you don't want to. You want to lift that. Oh, they're having sex. If your whole conversation is, oh, they're with somebody else, that's a physical thought. Oh, they're fucking somebody else, that's a physical thought. You feel what I'm saying? But you're not talking about their soul. You're talking about their body, which means your focus is not of his or her soul. You're focused more on his or her body. So you need to tap back into yourself, your soul, and your soul will handle all the rest. You understand what I'm saying? So let go of that obsessive thinking. It is them who triggered. It is them who reflected it to you. Yes. Triggered you. Yes. But it is not all of their job to do the work. They don't have to come just because they triggered your heart chakra. Don't mean they have to come and love you. It's you who need to do the work by loving you. They can trigger all these chakras. It is you who must balance them out. Okay? So peace and blessings to you all. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe to this channel. Peace.